Hey 5th grade, this is Mrs. Skioka with your flipped math lesson for today, 6-3. Today's objective, I can use number sense and place value to multiply decimals. Well, we know what place value is. Let's talk about what this number sense is real quick. So number sense is just the ability to use numbers and to think about numbers and how they are in relationship to another. So you know that 2 is bigger than 0, for instance. Okay, that's number sense. Knowing that 54 is bigger than 39.2. That's number sense. You know how the numbers are in relationship to each other. Okay, so that's what we're going to use in our multiplication today, and thinking about if our answers are reasonable by using number sense. So, all today we're going to be talking about where does the decimal point go. That's the main point of the lesson today. Where does that decimal point go? We're going to use our number sense and place value to figure that out. Here's our sample problem. $45.30 times 0.55. And it equals a number that is 2492, but the decimal point is gone. So we're trying to figure out what happened to the decimal point. That's what we're going to try to figure out today. Where would the decimal point go? We're going to figure that out without doing the multiplication, just using our number sense and figuring out what would be the most reasonable answer. So $45.30, well, that's awfully close to just $45, right? And then 0.55 is less than 1. So it's less than 1. In fact, it's really close to a half. So if you can think about what's half of 45, or if you're not sure what 45 would be if you divide it in half, what's half of 44? Half of 44 is 22. Right? So our number here, our answer, 2492, is going to be really close to about $22. And the way it's written right now, 2,492, that's way off. So where should the decimal point go? Well, if our answer is going to be pretty close to $22, it's probably going to be $24.92. So that's what we did. We just used number sense to figure out that our answer is probably going to be about $22. So given the numbers that we have, the answer must be $24.92. So we're going to be using number sense to think about the factors now. Before we just did it we used number sense to look at the product. Now let's look at the factors. Our question says, what decimal can be written to give a reasonable answer? So we're going to use a number that has a decimal in it, and we're missing one of the factors here in this problem. Some number times 5.1 equals 30. So we have to have a factor with a decimal in it for this problem. So we have 30. We know it's going to equal 30. Some number times 5.1. Well, 5.1 is really close to just 5. So think in your head, like, what times 5 equals 30? Well, hopefully you know that 6 times 5 equals 30. 5.1 is super close to 5. So what other factor would be super close to 6? Maybe 6.1? Is that a reasonable answer? Yes, it is. Because it's super close to 6. And 5.1 is very close to 5. And I know that 6 times 5 equals 30. So possibly 6.1 times 5.1 equals 30. It's a reasonable guess to this answer. Let's practice a few. Where does the decimal point belong in the product? So in the answer to the multiplication problem, where are we going to put the decimal point? So we have 5 times 3.4, and it looks like it equals 17. So should the decimal point go at the end? Should it go in the middle? Or should it go at the very front? Where should that decimal point go? Well, if I look at just the whole numbers, 5 times 3, I know that 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 3 is 15. And that is pretty close to 17, the number that we're given. 1.7 would be really far away, and then 0.17 would be very far away. So my answer is going to be 17, that the decimal point should go right there. 17.0 is probably the right answer. Let's look at the next one. 3.1 times 6.2. and it equals a number that has 1922 in it. Where should that decimal point go? So let's look at the whole numbers. We have a 3 and we have a 6. 3 times 6 equals 18. So we have a little bit more than 3, a little bit more than 6. So my answer is probably going to be a little more than 18. So if my answer is a little more than 18, where would the decimal go in this number 1922? It should go right here. So the number is 19.22. That's a reasonable answer. Let's try another one. This time, you try to find out where the decimal point goes, pause the video, and then come back. Okay, so we have 0.6 times 0.4. I know that 0.6 is about half of something, so it's less than 1. I know that 0.4 is also less than half of something. Or I'm sorry, it's about half of something, and it's less than 1 as well. So I know that if I'm multiplying something that's less than 1 times less than 1, my answer is probably going to be less than 1. 24 would be a whole lot more than 1. 2.4 is more than 1. So my decimal point probably needs to go right here, 0.24. As a quick check, I could also notice that the factors have 2 digits that come after the decimal point, and so my answer is going to have 2 digits that come after the decimal point. Let's try another one. 5.01 times 3 equals 1503. Figure out where the decimal point goes and then unpause the video. Okay, so if I look at just the whole numbers, I have 5 and 3. And 5 times 3 equals 15. So my answer is probably going to be very close to 15. So that means I'm going to have to put my decimal point right there. So it's 15.03. Alright guys, that is it for today. We are finished. Easy peasy. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.